Hi Celestia, I'm Dr. Bijna Kotak Dasani. I'm British born and raised, of Indian origin and of African descent. I have a career of 20 years in investment banking, which I transitioned away from 2 years ago to move into the world of venture capital and entrepreneurship full time. I'm also an MBE, which means I'm a member of the British Empire. Yes, I'm a female with an empire, aka Fempire. That means that I have my own group of companies called the Arthome Group. And within that, I have a number of different organizations that I am responsible for. One aspect of that is venture capital. So I am the founding member of a couple of GP roles within venture capital funds in different parts of the world. The other is an advisory business. And then the third is a business that helps other companies in a very discretionary manner to scale or diversify their propositions. My why is about purpose, and my why is about impact, and my why is about leaving the world a slightly better or more informed place than when I found it. For me, is having spent 20 years in investment banking in different parts of the world, I had access to a lot of capital that was flowing, a lot of transactions, a lot of situations where capital was flowing freely. However, I also saw that there was a significant disproportionate number of people that were on the unbanked and underbanked spectrum, which is the equal opposite of the world that I was living in. What that instigated for me was the need for reform. So for me, there is a journey towards financial inclusion that can empower individuals, that can then empower their families, their communities, and then therefore their ecosystems. And what I am attempting to do through my Fempire is to help bridge some of those gaps in financial inclusion that are existing today in a world where we are more digitally connected than we ever have been as a human race, but we are still disproportionately connected to some of the things that are not equal or opportunistic for one half of the planet, which is the female workforce or the female population. Let me give you an example. There is a $1 trillion funding gap today for women-led businesses. There are 8 billion people on the planet. If we assume even almost 4 are women, of the 4 billion people, only 252 million women run their own enterprises. There is a gap, which means there is an opportunity. And actually, what the World Bank recently reported is that if we are able to create just measures and protocols that help give women the same opportunities and the same support system that men have to create their own empires or their own businesses and start small, that would generate an extra $5 to $6 billion for the world economy. So supporting financial inclusion, supporting women, supporting entrepreneurship, and supporting the improvement in economic participation and in economic prosperity is why I do this. I think without my struggles, there would be no journey. And without the journey, there would probably be an absence of struggles. I think they go hand in glove. For me, fail is very important. First attempt in learning. That is my definition of fail. And someone taught me that a while ago, and it's so simple, but I love it. I think with every failure comes a learning. You become clear, and your definition of what you don't want and what you do want become more crystallized. So failing is very, very important to me. Integrity is also very important to me. I feel that it's very easy to do the right thing when somebody's watching. It's very hard to do the right thing when nobody's watching. And the latter is my definition of integrity. So I think failing fast, learning, evolving, being intellectually stimulated, having integrity to your value system, all of those things go hand in hand with what I believe is a stable and long-term sustainable opportunity for a journey in the world of business. My mother. She is somebody who has created Fempires in many aspects of her life with a lot of forgiveness and with a lot of grace. I'm not sure I have those qualities, but if I can at least take lessons from her and emulate some of those behaviors, then those things continue to inspire me. My support system is my family. It's the friends that I choose as my family in addition to my family. And it's also the people that I work with. I have many people that have become informal and formal mentors, guides, allies, guardian angels to some extent. And I'm very blessed to have that of all different walks of life, from ages of 15 to 95 and anywhere in between in different parts of the world. I see all of those as blessings. I feel that everyone is a pool of knowledge that I learn from. So I really respect appreciate and admire those. And last but not least, the people that I really couldn't survive with on a given day-to-day basis are my team. So luckily, I'm now in a situation where I'm privileged to be able to choose the people I work with. And I love to choose people who are way more intelligent and doing way more interesting things than I've done so far in my career because I learn from them. That intellectual stimulation, that mutual respect, the ideation, the opportunity to collaborate is very, very important to me. And, there's a quote that says that leaders work to collaborate with other leaders. The ethos in my team is about collaboration. We feel that competition is a low value behavior. But what we like to do is bring the best of the best from a subject matter expertise perspective into our team. And we like to challenge each other and grow. And we believe that teams go much further faster together than individuals can alone. I think my most empowering moment is yet to come, but there are moments where I feel that everything that we are doing and working towards is so much more powerful than I ever realized. And an example of that is when somebody remembers you for what you have done to impact their life positively through your work. And you learn that it not only changed things for them for a better course of action, but for their family or for someone in their community. That impact is much further reaching. I'd say the most interesting, exciting, yet daunting decision was choosing to leave a very stable 20-year career where I'd worked through the hierarchies and had the backing typically of a 100,000 person organization in my career to go and set up a shop entirely on my own. Measure in a tangible way. So for me, those moments are the moments that matter, and those moments are the ones that I find empowering. Some people live to work, some people work to live. For me, they're both important aspects of who I am and how I survive and thrive. For me, I don't distinguish a difference between my working life and my day-to-day life outside of work because that is how I've always. I think for me, every day there are mini goals that lead to bigger goals. So I think it's really about appreciating everything that I have, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows in my toolkit, and utilizing them to do things that I may not have even thought about yet. And I think as long as that conscious thinking is there and we are creating a fulfilling, meaningful existence, for me, that's more than enough. I had the ceremony earlier this year, so 3 years later. And whilst I've had the privilege of serving the monarchy, whilst I've had the privilege of being on the royal estate and having experiences at the palaces, I cannot quantify with words how beautiful the ceremony is. They really make it very, very special. And it's something that will remain magical in my life for years to come. So the vision I'll share is not mine, but it's one that I really subscribe to. It's from Oprah Winfrey, and she said, "Be the highest, grandest possible vision of yourself that you can be." And I really, really think that if you can put yourself in that frame of mind and at least aim to be a better version of yourself every day, you will see incremental changes. Be fearless and give yourself a chance. I think a lot of the time we talk about the fact that men and women are physiologically different. Women are that species that will try and get 10 out of 10 before applying for a role. Men are the ones who will say, "Hey, I've got 5 out of 10. I'm going to apply for it anyway, and I'll figure the rest out when I get there." I think we need to have a shift and learn from our male allies that actually if you feel that you've got part of the credibility, some of it can be learned when you get there. So be fearless, don't doubt yourself, give yourself a chance, and most of all, be a woman who helps lift another woman's crown up and place it where it belongs. I think that is really discussing with a mentor a few months ago. We need more spaces and places like Celestia for women like us. As I said earlier, there are only 252 million entrepreneurial females on this planet, and there are 4 billion women on the planet. So there's a long way to go. And I think if you can continue the work that you're doing and people like me can help you support and compound that effort, then we will have a Celestia in every corner of the world.